up, guys? Welcome to the White Elephants with your host, David and Emma. Our hosts and hostess.
Was it not as you expected? It wasn't that great?
I was surprised that there wasn't that many black people in Wakanda. Yeah, it was mostly Asians.
Yeah,
And then also
the jungle was made up of eucalyptus trees.
yeah, that was a little. There's a lot of fake news out there about it.
It was raining. It's kind of cold.
Yeah, it's
I
like
would think
raining right
would be
now.
more tropical.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's raining without Wakanda.
For some reason, all the alcohol. So if you're thirsty, record on it.
According to Pat, he said that Discord is being run by the SPLC now. So, I mean,
Well,
he
just
typed it into the
not
Discord before.
well, not only that, but just the idea of if you're talking about the government, then and the NSA knows everything. So if you say that you don't want the government to know anything about you, then you should just literally get rid of all your technology and go run into the wilderness. Like that's the only way to be free from it. That's it.
Even then, like anyone reading the comments isn't gonna think they're serious.
Yeah. Well,
We don't even know how to delete the chat anyway. So like,
well, he would want the whole thing to be put on private. But I mean, we could edit it. Do you want to edit it? Just put in like the fun parts or something. Do like a highlights. Because that's what I was thinking about doing. But I haven't had the time to just straight up just sub Eric. Time to just like do anything. Macaroni, guys. I've been eating a lot of cheese puffs yesterday, macaroni. I haven't heard any explosions or anything like that.
Right next to the base that could explode and kill us.
Different time.
Yeah, and drive streaming too.
Yeah, everyone says they don't like it at like 2 o'clock, but then there's a good amount of people that come on. So they're like, oh, I'm always busy, but there's a lot of people that come on it too. Now we're doing it at 4, but at the same time, it is a weekend. But I don't know, the last few weekends have been pretty good. Michelle Elephant's in the house.
What's up, Michelle?
Trump is about to go live, and I'm watching GU2. I'm using my CIA telephone. Oh, okay, so Trump's about to go live right now. I didn't hear anything. I wonder what it's about. I don't really follow him as much as I used to because we kind of did what we needed to do, so not really a...
What's he going live on? Because we could play it through my phone or the speaker and then we could listen to it and that's not going to be copyright.
Really?
Yeah. That looks good. But like...
Macaroni, guys. With my BPA spoon. Is that illegal for her to be eating and driving?
No.
No, it's illegal. It's illegal?
You could eat on time. It's frowned upon, but...
Frowned.
I see people put on full faces of makeup while driving. You hot?
It's good. To all you guys out there, if you have the chance, consume some macaroni, because it's good. It's especially good when you're in an area that has bad weather. Like I ate it, and you can just feel it going down. It's just warm.
Leaving Wakanda, there aren't many choices. Surprisingly, they had Mexican, and surprisingly, the Mexican food place has mac and cheese, which isn't very Mexican, but Wakanda's a very different place.
They had a vegan place there, and we went to that place. And man, walk in, nothing but like shit-lib looking motherfuckers.
A lot of white people culturally appropriating dreadlocks.
Yeah, it was either they were shit libs or they walked out of a trash can. All white people.
They looked like they walked out of the trash.
And yeah, it was bad. It was just hipsters, shit libs, garbage libs.
And that really huge sheep-eating dog was in there too.
There was some normal looking people in there, but for the most part, most of them looked like kind of like freaks. Like there was a guy sitting there, and he had like tattoos all over, and then I think he had like those weird ears too, and it was just like, oh, God. And you know what you need to do is you need to highlight that those people, you know, is what really represents the left. Because like, what is like a hardcore, like right-wing person? Like he's a super cleaned up guy, wears a suit all the time.
Probably a super boomer with that, the "Don't Tread on Me" hat, NRA shirt, AR-15.
No, but I'm saying like according to your ideals, like the left is all about like, I guess you would say freedom, but then it's kind of like their version of free, right? They want to be as free as possible. So then you can walk around and have tattoos over your face. You can act like a complete weirdo.
No, their idea.
Donald Trump just tweeted epic. I don't know what's going on right now. Oh yeah, here it is, epic. We're gonna see what Trump's up to, guys. Hey, cop. Oh, it says this tweet has been deleted.
He deleted it. Well, that's funny. He was typing something. In a few minutes, it's gonna be like, oh, epic show with so and so, great day with my meeting with whatever, and then like he accidentally hit send.
I don't know. I think if you have millions of people, you can just post that and delete it real quick.
Yeah.
There's thousands of people at this rally. Really? It's starting right now. Well, I can probably, I'll hit up a group, see if Omar or anyone wants to get down there. I'm sure I can get a group together with another. So you're going to have to stay tuned for that.
Awesome. I don't think he's having a rally though.
If there's a California rally that Trump shows up, I showed up to almost all of them. Oh, Victor's in the house, and Zeus is here too. But Victor, $2. Trump rallies. I like rock concerts.
Oh, Zeus is mod. Okay.
I've never been to a rock concert. Yeah, he was talking about like
that
not.
We have too many mods, and we should unmod people because it looks like 80% of our comments are mods.
Nah, it's okay. Because like the better the show gets, the more comfortable I am with pushing it out there. And then we can push it out there and we'll have a bunch of people on it and it won't really look like anything. Also, I never know who's going to be watching this, like as a mod. Like I know TheRedElephants probably like the best mod. She's been on like every single one. So she's the MVP for sure. But I don't know who's going to be on. And if we get a guy in here and he's saying crazy feds type stuff, then, and there's no mods, you know.
Yeah.
Zeus, I'm the best mod. I don't know. Who modded him? Was it me?
Yeah, it was you.
I modded him?
You did.
I might have modded him. So.
Oh, leave him. Leave him until he abuses his power. I don't think.
Well, alright. Well, he just said, "Why are you letting a woman drive?" So you sure I should keep him?
He says that shit all the time.
You sure? Sure I should have mod him?
David was driving, this would be a very different stream.
No, I can do two things at once.
No. Yeah.
I don't even. You see, I don't see it as like being cocky if your woman's driving. If anything, it's like she's doing all the work and I don't have to do anything. I mean, I don't see that as cocky there. The way I see it. Hey Lisa, you should be doing the work. Why?
Can you pass me my water bottle?
I'm actually fine with being the passenger, so.
He likes it better. He likes to be lazy.
Yeah. Women shouldn't drive, they cause accidents. I don't know.
Yeah, a woman almost hit us earlier, and I honked the horn. I held that shit down. I flipped her off, and like, oh, I was trying to scare her into submission. Fucking bitch, cutting me off.
Well,
she was like going. She wasn't supposed to go. It was my right of way.
What's funny is he says women cause accidents, and then that guy in that Mustang just starts like flying through traffic. Like, I've never seen a woman do that. You know, it's always dudes.
Women are scared to do that. A lot of times women are like scared drivers, but that's not always a good thing, especially if you live in a huge city like downtown LA or something. You have to be aggressive.
I think it's because women, they care more about like their family and that, and so they know if they get killed, like that'll be bad for their family.
Yeah.
So that's why women have like that, what's it called, the mother's intuition, all that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Whereas
But
guys,
it's always like,
guys are always very separate from family, things like that. So that's why guys can just, you know.
all those guys in like the ghetto areas, they always drive like shit, like really bad. You ever drive through? If you ever drive through,
It's,
like,
yeah, it's just
South
beat up cars.
Central
Yeah.
or like these ghetto areas in LA, even like West Palm Beach, it's like full of really bad drivers. They don't care.
Yeah. WTH, I care for my family. Yeah, but women are more connected because, like, if you look at the past, like, at some points, it's like you have to do all the fighting, and then the women and children got to get out. You know, so when the Greeks got into Troy, all the women and the children and the high up people got to go, and then the rest have to fight and stay. So it's not that you don't care for your family, but I think a lot of guys they don't. I think they're a little bit like not as connected as women are. Bro, you're not even doing the driving. How will you do the fucking? Yeah. I'm lazy on certain things. Other things I like doing. I mean, if the guys are doing everything, I mean, that's probably why they're going insane and they're shooting up schools all the time.
Well, yeah, most people just have like mental illnesses. We just entered into a new county, so I think we're officially out of Wakanda by now.
Eating a burrito here. Wakanda has the best burritos, guys. The best. What else can we talk about?
How do you like that burrito? It's fucking fun.
Pretty bad.
I like the avocado. It's good. You could read comments.
Trump just said Chuck Todd from CNN 1999 was sleeping. Son of a bitch. Talk about Fuentes.
Talk about the niggers.
I don't really know about them.
Zeus's man.
I mean, he's yeah, but I don't think he represents all of them.
I think he does.
At least I hope not.
I just think all of them are like Zeus.
Nah, even Fuentes disavowed Zeus.
What? Really?
Yeah, he disavowed him.
In his Discord?
No, when we talked to him once, remember?
Oh, that one time.
Yeah. And we said that Zeus was like super like worshiping him and he loved him. He's like, yeah, I've noticed. And we said he was gay and he's like, yeah, I've noticed. I don't know about them. I'll say that they're a little, like, I know he's a smart guy, but when he goes and like he tries to pretend like he was like never alt-right, things like that, I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
We can go back on some live streams and you were saying like we, us, things like that, ways to improve the movement. And he's a smart guy. I like it when he goes around and smashes people, but it's cringy to me when he goes around calling people pussies and faggots when he's a stick. Like, the guy's never thrown a punch in his life. I hear and call people faggots.
I thought that was mean that he told James and that other guy faggot. He was like, I don't know, like.
He wouldn't say it to his face though. It's one of those things.
Like, that's kind of.
He wouldn't say that to James' face because James would stop him.
Should we listen to the speech? We can put it through the Bluetooth. You don't have to.
Going to the gym now? Yeah, well, so is Hoppa here. So is she going to be throwing people on their heads anytime soon? Nope.
At some point I will.
I mean, I'm sure we'll watch him in a video where he's one of those people that, you know how you record people doing stupid shit at the gym because they don't know how to use weights and things like that? Have you ever seen those? Where
yeah, but that's what I feel like it's mean.
I mean, he might end up on one of those videos at some point.
It's like trying to do a deadlift with like a curved back.
No, not really like that. Like, you know, like there's that machine where you can do like a pull-up, but it has this little feature where it can assist you. So you can see people cheat, like they're doing a bunch of pull-ups, but they have it like super assisted, so they're not actually doing anything.
Yeah.
Or you see people, you know, and like you pull the cord, like the cords, and you see them like doing stupid shit, like they're like doing things wrong. They're like, you know, going like this. And
yeah.
there's like stupid videos where people jumping around and stuff. Why are you making fun of people with fast metabolisms? Well, to be more specific, people with ectomorph body types have fast metabolisms, and they tend to be very skinny and weak, but they can eat a lot and they never gain weight, so that's a societal benefit to it. But at the same time, not very strong. That's the main thing. Anyone with ectomorph body type, I'm like, you're getting smashed on your head, dude. That's it. Like, I look at you, I'm like, the minute I grab you, it's over. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Whoa, $20 from Victor.
Oh, damn.
The purpose of the Trump rally is to whip up votes for a low energy boomer named Rick Saquin is down in the polls to Venomel. The GOP needs some new high-tea fashion guys to lead this new GOP. Yeah, well, that
good.
sucks.
That's a really good thing that Trump's going over there then, because like, I feel like, I mean...
Well, every single time Trump has done this, the people lose. And it's just, I think the same thing happened when Obama was doing it. Anytime they go out and they campaign for somebody, they always, like, whoever they're campaigning for loses. So I think he needs to see the pattern of what's been going on. He needs to stay out of it. I think
like with Alabama.
Well, that one, there was a couple of them. Like, any person he's endorsed in a rally, they've always lost. I think he needs to stay out of it, because once gets into it, all of a sudden, like, the left goes and they throw all their cancer all over it, and not every single place will fight back against it.
And I feel like people fight back against him, like with all the black voters that went into Alabama and voted like 98% for.
Yeah, but it didn't matter, because it doesn't matter. They could have had the highest turnout, but as long as the right came out and turned out the way they did for Trump, he would have won. So the story wasn't about the black stuff or anything, because I watched Fuentes' show and he made it seem like it was all about the blacks. No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter about that. It matters about how the right didn't come out and turn out, because if they came out and turned out like they did for Trump, they would have won. They just had way more people there. The problem was they didn't have the turnout because of all the drama going on between Roy Moore and then Trump backing the challenger, and then everyone else backing Roy Moore, and then all the garbage that came out about Roy Moore, and then people said people were saying, like, that he should have came out like more. He should, like the last few weeks, like he just didn't do anything, kind of like Mitt Romney. So that's what it was. It was the turnout of the right because of all the drama going on. It had nothing to do with all the blacks turning out to vote for some white Democrat. It had nothing to do with that. Zeus really wants me to drive.
Do you want to drive?
I mean, if you want me to, I could.
Well, I'm not tired of running, so I'm gonna have to go.
Make them $20 today.
I know, right? That's so nice of you.
I really need to, instead of doing this on YouTube, I think the next stream I have to do, like if I do it on my phone, I can do it off the Streamlabs app probably. Because if you do it on the Streamlabs app, they take less money. Whereas on YouTube, they take a 30% fixed, flat rate cut. And it kind of sucked because I wouldn't, like if you guys want to donate to us, you want to donate to us, not YouTube. Going around censoring people and, screwing people over. Hit the like button, guys. If you can, share it.
How many people do we have watching?
We got 6, solid 6.
Oh, that's good. Probably everyone's watching.
The Trump times, yeah. It's alright. My main thing is I said that I was going to put out content Friday through Sunday, and that's my main prerogative.
Yeah, and people can always watch later, too.
What I do is just say some shit, and then all of a sudden someone wants to punch you in the face. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. If I remember, I'll go check it out. To anyone that, isn't streaming like I am, I'd say check it out at some point.
Okay, play it.
The video.
I saw on YouTube that Right Side Broadcasting has a really good stream so far of the Trump rally.
Yeah.
There's like 15K watching, which is really great. That's awesome.
Well, they have a lot of people. Like, that's a whole business. Or if they are filming it, they're not really showing the whole thing.
Yeah,
So that's capitalism for you. Someone said, all right, well, I guess we'll go and film it. Then no one else, and it turns into a business because the idea was lucrative.
Yeah.
You had a Celtic flag and people freaked out. Isn't that something, huh? You show pride in your heritage and your own people are freaking out and trying to probably beat you down. Talk about clown world.
Yeah.
Fucking clown world, man. And it really comes down to differences in Darwinistic strategies of survival. One group says, let's appease the others. Let's just keep appeasing them, and eventually they'll be peace if we just appease them. Then the other group says, no, like we're not gonna appease them. We're not doing that. Like the best way for survival for us is if we do not appease them. Oh my gosh. Victor with another 20. I have an idea for your show with all this selection action. Why don't you try to get people who volunteer for campaigns on and discussions? It's like so hard to read. Discussions. You mean with normal people get involved in political campaigns? I'm broke now. Well, thank you for the 20.
That's so nice.
Well, I mean, we do volunteering. We help out Omar, obviously. We do phone calls. I canvass.
And other candidates too, not just Omar.
Yeah, but I mean, currently we're with him. There's other volunteers there. I guess I can live stream. I feel like, some people would be a little freaked out by that. So I don't know about the idea, but I do think we need to get people more revved up. And like, there's a lot of people that like to troll. There's a lot of people that like show up for protests and rallies, but there's not a lot of people that want to actually do political work. They don't want to actually do that kind of things, and I think that's what's missing from a lot of the movement, because we have a lot of people that have opinions on things, that are passionate about things, but they don't really know how to actually get things done. And I think you had a good idea on somehow making it, you know, making some videos on how to go about that kind of stuff. I think someone like Fuentes would be good at that. He's the typical, like, kind of similar to, he knows how the establishment works, that kind of thing. I've helped out with campaigns, but I've never wanted to be part of, like, the establishment, like, you know, wear a suit kind of thing. So I kind of like just being on the side. I can kind of criticize and talk about stuff. Like, I can help out. Kind of, I actually like what Roger Stone does, like that kind of behind the scenes stuff. Like, that's where all the fun is. You know, putting your face out there, running for things, doing all that stuff. Like, that's the hard work. That's the tough stuff.
But there are a lot of people who told you that.
Yeah, there's people that say that, but I mean, look at who Trump was. Everyone loved him. Hollywood loved him. This guy was a celebrity. This guy was like a self-made billionaire multiple times over, because he's gone bankrupt a few times. Reality star. You know, he's been on Comedy Central, and they did a roast to him, and like, basically he's like an all-around, you know, great person. Everyone loved him. Like, the left, when you know, they say, oh, he's a racist, it's like, okay, well, were you like best friends with him like 10 years ago? Like, yeah. This is like the ultimate guy, ultimate version. And as Obama said, he's like the personification of what America is, basically, just all around. And then he runs, but because he ran as a right-wing guy instead of, like, if he was a Democrat, oh my God, they'd be like throwing it in our face. Like, if he ran as a Democrat and he ran against Ted Cruz, like, the Democrats would be like, oh, he's trolling them, yeah, lying Ted, yeah. They'd be eating it up. They really would. Like, they don't care about what he's saying or those things. All they care about is that he's not on their team. That's really what it is. Because for a long time they loved this guy, and this is like the perfect person. He's like, oh, I'm gonna run right wing, and then all of a sudden, everything he said is no different than what Hillary or Obama has said before. You know, it just comes down to my team and your team. Really, it's crazy like that. What was the question though?
About you running.
Oh, about me? Yeah, but I would never want to run, because you got the perfect person in him, and yet look at all the shit that he went through. And not just him, but his like family. Like, I heard about like Tiffany Trump. She goes to these like fashion shows, and then no one wanted to sit next to her, and you know, it's really tough.
Yeah, that's sad, because like I feel like I get the feeling that she doesn't really care much about politics.
But it doesn't matter, because like that's your team now. Yeah, I wouldn't want to. I already do a lot of stuff behind closed doors. I feel like that's where I'm comfortable. That's where I do my thing. I mean, I guess I would say it would be like Trump. Like, if I was, well, actually, what Hulk Hogan said recently. If I was gonna run, it would be if I thought that I would win for sure. That's when I run. But most likely no. Because I'm already doing things. There's a lot of people out there that are very passionate, that want to do something, and it's like, you know, run for something. Like, if you don't want to do a YouTube, if you don't want to like, you know, if you don't want to do certain things, you know, there's a lot of options out there. How was TJ? Is that because we had Mexican food? We went to Wakanda, not TJ. Man, I'm tired. I remember last year I kept saying that. Now I'm back to saying it again.
Yeah. We crossed the Wakandan border, but we did not cross the U.S. border.
Yeah.
Teleported on light speed to Wakanda while staying inside the United States.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good though. Kind of sum it up, I said this earlier, but there wasn't a lot of black people. It was mostly Asians, so that was kind of weird. And we went to a vegan place, and it had a bunch of like like white garbage-looking shit lives in there.
Hipster trash.
Yeah, and very bad optics for the vegan movement, I have to say. And then what else? Oh yeah, that, and we did a lot of drinking, so that's probably why. That's probably why we don't look too good right now. I went full Game of Thrones, just so you guys know.
What does that mean?
That means that they drink a lot of wine in that show.
You know how you guys know how much David likes his Merlot.
Merlot.
He also likes rosé.
Oh, I don't say those names.
Really?
I was creating portraits. I was creating portraits the other day with Merlot. Yesterday.
Yeah, you should have gotten some canvases. You could have sold those.
That's modern art there for you.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, you could have made some serious modern art.
Get a portrait and just puke all over it.
Put that shit in the MoMA. Yeah.
Give it a name. Call it so it would be like.
You can literally pick whatever name you want. Artists that paint like a single line on a canvas and then with like a different color and give it a biblical title. It was like Abraham sacrificing Isaac, and it's just like a line.
Well, like you saying rejection was really good because you puke
is literally rejection.
Yeah.
But it's also like, but if the lines are all really crazy and diagonal and it's kind of movement everywhere, then it would be a sense of rejection, kind of all over the place.
Yeah. That's funny. Say some more art stuff.
Well, you can't just say art stuff.
Waters is low IQ.
Good.
Low IQ. Oh, okay.
But she just
started laughing.
Good. Yeah. She is low IQ.
Yeah.
Officially, what was it? Today? Officially, no, it was yesterday, right? That all candidates had to turn in their house yesterday. So there's like how many candidates running for that seat? 5. Is Maxine running? Of course she's running, but like, are there other Democrats running?
From what I know, there's one more Democrat running, and then of course there's like a billion Republicans running.
Okay, so
that's their strategy.
Literally 4 Republicans and 2 Democrats running for that seat as representative.
This is how it goes. I mean, what we worked for someone once. Wasn't there like 7 Democrats running at one point?
Oh, yeah.
So you know what?
I remember that.
So you know what? That actually kind of helps me because that means it's not just a Republican thing. It's whoever's like on top, then the other group has a billion people running.
Yeah, that was a while back. That was like summer 2016.
Yeah.
And they tricked us into canvassing in like 100-degree weather.
Yeah, the food there was good though. I mean, we went to that place. We got a bunch of like a huge thing of fries.
Oh,
huge.
I really like that place. I felt like it was kind of
good.
gross. Like it was like a dingy restaurant.
Tornadoes in the house.
What's up?
Yo, what's doo-doo? We're just talking about our trip. I'm just making more content. You know, I told you guys.
Just to entertain you guys if you're bored, you can just watch me.
Basically. You can just hear me ramble. Hear my opinion on things. I'm just trying to put out content because I have a very terrible problem with consistency. So I'm really trying to put out anything Friday to Sunday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday is what I'm doing. It seems like everyone else is doing it. And I've been doing this for a while, you know, since before Trump ran. So I was just like, you know what? I think all of us young people got to do something. We got to put out content. We got to put our voices out there. We got to do something. You know, share a video. You know, send some shekels to somebody. Make some videos.
Just don't send shekels to kids.
Share videos. There's you know, work for a campaign. There's so many things you can do. I don't really see an excuse not to at least do one of them.
Yeah, everyone should be volunteering for local candidates if possible.
Yeah. Point is, get involved. If you care, show it. Practice what you preach. Vornado, $5. Here are your shekels. Wow,
Aww.
too nice.
That's nice.
Usually when I say this stuff, I don't actually mean someone has to like do what I say or anything like that, like especially immediately. But Vornado is a man of his word. He's passionate. Yeah. He cares. He literally showed it.
He's a good guy.
Right when it counted. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to put out content because I'm a very lazy person. It's tough for me to kind of like do stuff. I mean, you can tell Emily driving, not really me.
Yeah. So you already gave your shit for it, guys. That's okay.
Look, I'm a C student, okay, guys. I don't put in the effort to get a B or an A. I'm like, look, I want to do the least work amount as possible, but to get what I want.
That's tough.
C student. I'm a C kind of guy. I'm gonna sit back and just do the bare minimum to survive, really. I want to learn about government more in depth, but I'm afraid I'll be brainwashed. Yeah, when people say, oh, you need to get educated, they actually mean you need to get indoctrinated. So, yeah. But I would say...
Pick up a poli-sci 1 book, like an intro to American government book from like, I don't know, 10 years ago or something. Just something before they started adding in all the stuff about like transgender rights. Because like I had a book a couple years ago, and it actually had stuff about that. It had stuff about all the gender crap. So pick up a book from like a decade ago and then read it, but you'll know what stuff is bullshit and what's not. Like just to get a feel for like how things are passed through the government or how things function with like the House and Senate and like all the different branches. I think that's good to know.
I would say if you want to get the truth, go further back in time as possible.
Or at least study the Federalist Papers and like the original documents of government.
Yeah, I would say to anyone that wants to talk about immigration, look up all the immigration acts and really know what you're talking about. That's what I've been doing. Because I usually talk about things on a philosophical
but sometimes
way.
It's good to talk about factual things.
Yeah,
too.
But at the same time, you do need to look up at like how things work and all of that. So that's what I've been doing myself. Because immigration is the most important topic for me. When we talk about economics, I have my ideas on that, and I can talk to you. But that's not really my main thing. I care more about the people than I do than what kind of currency we have and how things work on that. I don't know. It's just a little bit too boring for me. Like I was watching Andy Worski's live stream. I haven't finished it yet. I'm gonna watch the whole thing about. I think the guy's name was Framework Radio, and he was facing off against some other both Jewish people, and they were debating about Jewish influence and things like that. And I haven't gotten a chance to finish it, but like it was getting kind of very boring. It was very C-Spanish, and that's the reason why no one cared about politics for so long, is because it was boring and it was really tough to like. Well, first of all, it's complicated, and then on top of that, there's nothing spicy to get you into it. Like before Trump, no one cared, and so then. It's not really surprising that people were able to do things behind closed doors.
That's what sucks
to get things, because no one cared. It was so boring. Like, what are you gonna do? You gonna sit there and watch the C-SPAN, and it was so boring. Nothing but old people.
That's what sucks about non-biased politics. Like C-SPAN is the only thing you can get that's non-biased. Like either way, it's all gonna be from someone's perspective, like political perspective. But C-SPAN is literally just the raw data. Like. Here you go, you can watch the Senate floor, and that shit is boring as fuck. But then you have to realize, like, that is the stuff that's like what a live stream is. It's like, here are the whole complete 100% facts. But if you want to look at a video, like a chopped up video, that's going to be the stuff that's going to be the bullshit stuff.
Yeah, recordings are a way of the past. Live streaming, that is
true.
That is the truth. You could try to script stuff and stuff like that, but it's still way more difficult than recording. Recording, you just cut and edit, completely fake. I'm not really looking that hard. Isn't it crazy? We've only been live streaming 40 minutes.
I know.
You guys donated $47. You guys are too kind. And we only have 12 people in here.
It's crazy because like it feels like the way down had so much more traffic, but the way up is like barely anything. Maybe now I say that we're gonna hit traffic. Look at this shit. We're gonna hit it. Fuck.
We're hitting the red. Hitting the red, guys. Man, I feel tired. I really do. Tired and sore. Man. At least we got these burritos though.
Did you already eat yours?
$47, nice. Yeah, you know, I don't want to act like a shill or anything or a merchant, but
Would you mind if I ate some of your burritos?
no, you go ahead. Go ahead. I ate what I could. Macaroni went down good. I don't want to sound like a merchant or anything, but I have to say, like, if we have 12 people and there's like $47 there, imagine if we had like 1,200. But I mean, the thing is the 1,200 wouldn't be high quality. We have high quality viewers right now. Most of us are on the same Discords. We know each other on some sort of level. Worski makes over a couple thousand, but he only keeps it. For every like $100 or something, they take 3 or something, whereas YouTube takes 30%. Yeah, YouTube takes 30%, but if you go on like Streamlabs, if you look it up, it's yeah, they take 30. YouTube takes 30. That's their cut. It's a flat, straight up 30%. Whereas Streamlabs, they don't take that. So if he would make so much more money if he just went to Streamlabs. Wow, Victor for $5. Emily should run down a shit limp with her car, create content.
Yeah. You know, if there were Antifa protesters right here blocking the road, we'd be streaming because some shit would go down.
I don't know. Would it be? I mean, we're in, even if you're doing something legal, you can still go to jail. Let's be honest. Like, I mean, we're hearing stories in the shit-libbiest places where they defend themselves from a rapist or whatever, and then they go to jail because they punch him in the face, or they said a racial slur during the fight. You know what I mean? Like, these places are it's complete clown world. They're pro-criminal here. They're pro-bad guys. They're pro-evil people, and yet they come out and try to pretend like they're saints and they're angels. I mean, I'm not I'm not one of those like, you know, Bible thumpers or anything like that, but their version of how the world ends and the way it is nowadays, it seems very similar. Like you have the mark of the beast, where people are getting chips put into them. You're getting basically people are like, the bad guys are deemed as good guys and the good guys are deemed as bad guys in the world. There's a lot of craziness going on. A lot of, you know, obviously the degeneracy, rampantness. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on that you would think, oh well, I guess, you know, this is the end times or something. But I think we all have to remember though that usually when you're on Twitter in these kinds of places, this is a battle between like an extremist group and an extremist group. Like, even in a sense, like, we're extremists, because if you go into like a classroom or you talk to your coworkers, for the most part, a lot of them don't have any opinions really on politics and those kinds of things. They don't really care, the majority of people. They really don't. They just go about their lives. They care about them, their family, and that's all they really have time to really care about. Maybe they kind of know what's going on, but for the most part, like with young people, you know, we go to Harvard, so we're taking classes, and you go in there, and I'm talking to people, and I'm not a poli-sci major, so it's kind of interesting that I'm out of like the echo chamber, and I'm talking to people that have nothing to do with politics. And whenever politics is kind of talked about, because politics is in everything, it's in every little field, like even in like art, and 98% of the classroom is just quiet, and you can tell that they just don't want to talk about it. They want to move on and they want to get out of the classroom. Where like, you know, there's a couple of people going back and forth, and like, you know, by a couple of people I mean like 2, maybe 3, and the rest are just like, they're just like you know, they're like laughing about it, or they're like, can we just not talk about this? These are all young people too, normies basically, because they're not in the political field. So we have to realize that most people just don't really care. Smash the button. What's going on today? Broseph. That's a knicker, I think. Isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's Zeus's friend in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah, I like your guys'. I like Nick's show. I like his people and all that. Have some criticisms here and there, but very solid. It's actually interesting because, yeah, fellow nigger.
Sounded really
What?
the way you said it, it sounded like.
Well, I kind of slur words. I feel like so. Remember, someone tried to say they thought I had an accent. Like even at the party in Wakanda, they thought I had an accent. Remember someone said that?
I don't remember who said that.
I was like, what? Yeah, but like before I ever even knew about Fuentes, my views of kind of like politics was always kind of like, it's always been like very just kind of like not too far away from, you know, conservatism that much. Whereas I felt like everyone felt like they had to go completely jump the other side of the fence. Like it's either like you don't want to be a neocon because they're bad. Here's all the reasons. You obviously don't want to be on the left. Then they'll say, oh, well, you don't really want to be a libertarian because those guys are all a bunch of pussies, and then there's too much rampant. Well, it was mainly that they're dumb. It was mainly that they're saying that they're going to convert all these people that they've never ever converted. Will is in the house. I think you're a new viewer. Welcome. What's it going to take for whites to unite like every other race worldwide? I have no idea. From what I've heard from some people, they basically said that white people had too much empathy, and these I think are behaviors that were created through adaptations that Europeans made, and I think the whole point of it was to solidify the family and the group so that everyone's really nice and there's not too much conflict. There's not, basically it's getting away from the old structures of alpha male, and then there's a lot of fighting and like you're only alpha because you're big and strong, but once you get old then the next one will take you out. You know, feelings of mistrust. So I think they kind of developed that kind of, you know, feelings and caring and all that. The problem with that though is that you can be taken advantage of because of that. So yeah, you may create like a structure of like, it would create more peace and, you know, more unity and people care and that kind of thing, but you can be taken advantage of. That's creating a race of naive fools that are being taken to the bank, and that's what's happening today. You know, some of the people have woken up to it, and some others just haven't. And I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. How to wake these people up, I don't know, because I know some of them, and they're being put in situations they don't like what's going on. It comes down to one group says they need to appease whoever, they need to appease them, and the other group says we're not appeasing them, we're just going to it's kind of like a hostage situation, really. One group says no, just pay the guy and then he'll get rid of the hostage and he'll give us the hostages, no one gets killed, let's just appease them. Then the other group says no, screw that, let's just run in there and we'll just kill them. So it comes down to that mindset. But either way, both groups, like for instance on immigration, all those liberals, they don't really like immigration or multiculturalism, because when you look at these people that support that, these are all like aristocratic kids. They all have money, they all live in gated communities and in rich areas. They aren't going to public schools like I did. They're not going to these multicultural places. Trust me, I went to these places and there was not a lot of white kids. It was not. It was mainly Hispanic. I think mainly Hispanic, black,
or what about
maybe a little bit of white, maybe. Not really though.
What about what we saw the other day from that elementary school?
Yeah, I mean, you go down to some areas and they're just, the demographics are one way, and then all the liberals who go and call, oh yeah, we need all this diversity, and then I've heard of Democrats Democrats saying, oh, it's getting bad in California, we got to get out of here. Really? I thought you were pro everything that's going on here, like high taxes, the diversity, probably even open borders. Not really combating it. If you're not on Trump's side, then you're a sympathizer of it, because you're not fighting against it, you're not voting, which means you're not voting against it. And these are Democrats that are leaving in droves. It's not just Republicans leaving here, and we're all sitting here like laughing at them. And I know I've been saying this a lot, but I haven't heard any answers to it. I haven't heard any solutions. That you're going to have all these Democrats moving to red areas who don't understand that the reason why these areas are good is because of the ideas, and because of the people putting out the ideas. So if those people aren't around anymore, those ideas won't be put there anymore. And if you get rid of those people and exchange it for a different kind of people, you're going to get a different kind of area. It's not going to be the same. They don't understand that. So then they go to these other areas, and then they just bring it right back down again. They're poking holes in a boat, and they're making it sink. And then they're blaming the people who are telling them not to poke holes in the boat. And they're saying, no, you're the ones creating this problem. It's like, no, it's because you're poking the holes in the boat.
You always talk about the boat.
All right, how about this? We'll use the Titanic one.
That's
the
better.
People in charge of the Titanic, the ones on the
Still
boat.
a boat, though. So
Yeah.
it's still a boat. So you need to talk about something else besides boat. Because I've heard that too.
Titanic.
Titanic.
All right, how about a tree? We're all sitting on a tree.
Yes.
And these guys have a chainsaw,
Yes, okay,
and they're starting to chop down the tree, and they're saying, look, the reason why the tree isn't sturdy is because we need to chop it. And then we're like, why would you do that? That's going to make it less sturdy, right? Like, let's say we go with taxes, like, oh, well, you take, more money away from people, that's only going to be a bad thing, not a good thing. And they're like, no, we're going to steal money from people, it's going to help the economy. So then they start chopping the tree down, and then we're like, whoa, like the whole thing's gonna, like, hey, if you keep doing that, it's gonna fall apart, which is, if you keep going further left, it's gonna fall apart. And then they're like, no, it'll be fine. Like the reason why it's not sturdy is because we need to keep going further left. So then they keep chopping, and at some point the whole tree falls. But right before the tree falls, they're not gonna go down with it. Like how many people ever go down with any form of government? They always bail, don't they? And then so they jump off the tree onto another one. And there's a new guy, and they're like, hey, you just chopped down that tree. And they're like, we didn't chop down that tree. That tree got chopped down by, the other guy in the tree that was telling him not to chop it down, which would be a right-wing person. And then the whole cycle begins again. And
That's your solution.
My solution?
What do you think we should do about the lack of trust between the two parties, or the inability to work together? Do you think that we should just force a one-party system, or do you think we should, change the way that bills get passed to where it just gets passed?
Big
no matter
cheddars
what?
in the house. Welcome. My solution would be rights. We can start bringing in more rules so they can actually, like, the whole thing would come down to states' rights would have to be like they can say who comes in and comes out of their state. But then that would, I'm sure, goes against something, because if you're a U.S. citizen, you're allowed to travel anywhere you want.
Yeah.
So you would have to change that, and you'd have to say no. If basically, I'm saying that we need to chop up the United States is what we need
But
to
then
do.
places like California, like if people were trying to leave, they would just say, no one's leaving. You're not allowed to leave. It's our state's right to force our citizens to stay here.
Well, I would say if you leave, then you can't come back or something to that degree. I mean, think about it. When Rome fell, it broke up into small little castles. Basically, that's what the dukes were. What was his name? Starts with a D. Domitian. I'm pretty sure it's Domitian. He created the dukes and that system. So when Rome fell, everyone just went to the nearest places that looked as similar to what Rome was. So they ran to all the dukes for protection. And that's what they did. And so I think if the United States, if things get really, really bad, like it is in California, where people are literally just like leaving in droves, then what's going to happen is these people are going to run to something They're gonna run to little areas, and if things really get bad, as like the alt-right says and things like that, where they say that social cohesion and things like that are really, really bad, and people won't trust each other. What's gonna happen when that happens is everyone's just gonna go choose a different part of the United States, and like I'm gonna take my piece of the pie, and then we're gonna go from there. Kind of turn into similar like Greek states, kind of. 144, you want dial up? Oh. It keeps buffering?
Really? Doesn't
I don't know,
like
guys.
this on your end.
Press 1 if it's bad, if it's buffering, and press 2 if it's good. Oh, man. I don't know, I guess to everyone it's good. It's just hitting, who is it? Is it Tornado? It's hitting Tornado.
Mm.
Yeah, we're driving, so if it goes off and on, it's kind of, you know, kind of would see that coming. Because you never know what it seemed like it was fine yesterday, though, so by that logic, it should be fine today if we're going in the same areas. But, yeah, welcome to all the new people. We have 17 viewers now.
Oh,
can you guys tell us how the Trump thing...
when it rains in the LA County or Orange County area, like it is like awful. No one knows how to drive anymore.
Yeah, you sprinkle a little bit of water on the road and everyone's like, ah!
Well, the road is like completely wet. People just don't know how to drive.
No, like we almost got into like, what, 2 accidents today?
Yeah, but that was down in Wakanda.
Yeah. I don't know. Fucking the white people in Wakanda don't know how to drive. I don't know what's going on there.
Still mad about that lady kind of stuff.
Well, the whole point was we thought, oh, she went, she saw us, now she's gonna stop. But then she kept going.
She kept going. She literally looked at us and then kept going. Like, what a dumb bitch.
I was like, are you trying to like alpha male us? Like, we're gonna stop so that you can go?
We're not gonna stop, like in the middle of the fucking road.
Yeah.
It was our right of way anyway.
Yeah, so I was pretty surprised by that. China doesn't have a drug problem. It's because of the give drug dealers the death penalty.
I think we need to tighten up our punishments, though, for sure. Like people don't fear prison because there's no reason to. I mean, prison, like objectively in our country, like or even in like the Nordic countries, isn't that bad.
I think we need more diversity when it comes to punishments.
People also know that the death penalty, even if they get it, it's probably not going to happen. They're going to exhaust all their appeals, probably sit in jail for like 30 years, and then if it happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, most of the time they just die in prison, leeching off of taxpayer dollars for their entire life.
Yeah, and so the law in a lot of ways is very pro-criminal because it's very hard to convict people, and then you can say, oh well, that's protecting the like what 5% chance that the person is innocent in the death penalty. I think there was some guy that brought up, he was on Joe Rogan Experience, and he was saying that there's like with every death penalty, like in all the stats, 4% of them were actually innocent, and I'm just like, that's it, 4%. Like I know that's bad. Like if I was gonna get killed, at least I would know that, look, I'm dying. You know, obviously someone put me in this situation for a reason. You know, like you would say, God works in mysterious ways, kind of thing. And then you could say, like, look, I'm going down, but at least it's a sacrifice, and I know that a bunch of pedophiles and bad people are gonna be killed too. So they might be getting me, but not only that, but there's a lot of cases where we know people did it. Everyone knows that they did it.
Yeah.
Like you can, like if you have DNA proof that someone from, they're just gonna go right back to what they're doing, and they're gonna hurt someone else. And that's not even how it goes in nature. In nature, it's just like if you had like a village and you found out like someone was like raping your sister, you would just take a rock to that guy, and that's game over. Like there's no trial or any of this garbage. It's just you take a rock to him and it's over. But nowadays it's so artificial, and we all know that the justice system is just garbage. Like everyone can admit that. No one could ever. I haven't heard anyone ever defend that, oh yeah, it's perfect. No, it's garbage. I think you just need people to start governing people, and I think things will work out. The minute you start getting the idea of like a judge, like it's just his opinion, really, and it's based off their opinion what happens to you, or what is it when they have a bunch of people? What is that? The people that judge you. Was that you can either go by judge or
jury.
Yeah, the jury. So it's a bunch of people and their opinions will deem whether or not like you die or not, or go
They
to.
go through a whole process to make sure those people are non-biased, but at the end of the day, they're still just.
We need to get rid of that and just have AIs doing it. I think we need no judge, no people, because whenever you get people, you always get a bunch of garbage. Let's just put an AI judge in there, and it just goes based off all the facts, and then it just warps it together really quickly and comes out with a consequence. But I think when it comes to like, look, if you are found guilty of like raping someone, if you're found guilty of murdering somebody, and when I say this, I'm saying that you were like highly convicted. It wasn't like, oh, there was a good chance you might have been innocent, but you got convicted anyways. And I know how people plead too. Like people plead guilty just because, because they want to win. Because that's what it really is about for lawyers. It's about winning and losing, not about like righting wrong or justice or any of those things. That's a problem too. But I think we need to get rid of the people, replace it with probably like AI, things like that. And the people that are for sure convicted, like there was DNA evidence and there was like video, and they do something that's crossed the line, like really bad. It wasn't just like theft. It was like rape, murder, those kinds of things. Gone. Like no injection either. Let's not waste the money with that. Let's just bullet to the head, done. Because that's not even suffering. You take a bullet to the head, it's like gone.
Damn, look at that. That's it. That's for bait. His manager met with YouTube and they're not going to reverse the appeal. So he does not get his channel back.
Well, we all knew that the purge is here. We've been talking about censorship for a long time, and it's here now. They're just gonna start getting rid of everybody. That's why everyone's moving to like BitChute and Minds, and they're all just trying to move to anywhere else that is as similar to YouTube as possible. I'm hoping that some right-wing people can create some good alternatives that will just jump on, and that becomes the new thing, and no one cares about YouTube, and then YouTube and all these places and Twitter all go out of business. They all die out, and then the right-wing places is where the left will have to go if they want to be deemed cool. That's what I'm hoping. Hey, nice guys in the house.
What's up, nice guy?
How do you guys like it that we're doing this later? Do you guys like that it's later? Because usually we do it around 2:30. But do you guys like that we started at 4? Like, because we could always go like 4 to 6 or something. If it's easier for you guys. Because I'm making the content for you guys, so it's not really for me. We need more young people putting content out. So, yeah. Emily, what's your thoughts on postmodernism?
Don't even get me started. I hate that shit. It's so stupid.
I really try to stay away from all this water though, because it must have like a bunch of chemicals and garbage in it. Because this comes from the ocean and it gets evaporated back up and then shoots back down.
Yeah. Like, don't drink rainwater.
You guys were in. They said that he said we went to Wakanda.
Yeah.
We went to Wakanda, and all right. So I'll sum it up again. We went to Wakanda. They had a lot of alcohol there. It was mainly Asian people, which I found was a little strange. So, they kind of. And
the jungle was made of eucalyptus trees.
And all the vegan places had nothing but like white garbage-looking liberals.
Dreadlocks.
Yeah, it's like they all like went into a dumpster, sat in there for a while, got nice and ripe, and then they went inside and started pulling out the cash to buy almond milk smoothies and stuff. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting where they spend their money.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a sign over there that says Cushman. And I thought it said Cuckman.
Oh.
Yeah. Cultural Marxism equals postmodernism.
Yeah. Basically. It's like the idea with postmodernism as explained by this Marxist teacher I had for 2 days after I dropped that class. It was basically saying that everything is a social construct down to the individual themselves. Like, he literally told the entire class that we are nothing but products of norms in society, and norms are just constructs. So basically we don't even exist as individual people. We're just manipulated by others around us, which, I mean, we're manipulated by the Marxists, but he said there was no universal truths in the world, that everything is basically just formulated, like it's a construct, it's norms, which is such bullshit. And it was a really black coding class. Really,
yeah,
really
when someone says that, they're just admitting that they're ignorant
but
to
I don't actually
behaviors
think
and patterns.
that teacher believed it himself. I think he was just telling us that. He said he was a postmodernist, but I feel like he's saying this to kind of break us down, students.
Yeah, I would have lit that guy up if I was in there.
He said not only is gender a social construct, but your biological sex is a social construct.
So basically, he's saying that a social construct is when you get a bunch of people and they all agree to something.
Yeah,
right?
It's kind of like
so,
you put out an idea and all these people are like, yeah, that's right. And then people just start morphing it into something that's real.
So he's saying they're not agreeing to it because it's right. He's saying they're agreeing to it for whatever reasons, because they think it's cool or because they're following somebody. Yeah. So that means then, according to social constructs, that God is a thing, because he has many worshipers, right? So if enough people are worshiping something, that means it exists.
No, he would say that God is a social construct, and that God isn't real.
But social constructs means it's real.
No, it's not, because it's a social construct, and everything that's a social construct is like pseudo-real. It's fake.
So black people aren't real.
No. Well, I mean, yeah, he would say that, I guess, essentially, like...
I'd be like, well, what do you have against black people? You don't think they're real? Are you a racist?
But then on that same level, he would say that white people aren't real, and that no race is real, because it's just a construct that, like, maybe there's no, like, set biological differences between races, and even if there are, those are just constructs too, because, like, your chromosomes being XX to mean female, that's just a construct that someone made up. Someone came up with the idea of female.
So like, that means science isn't real then?
I suppose. I mean, I guess that's what he was saying. It's just this idea that everything is created by people.
Like math isn't real then?
Yeah.
2 plus 2 equals 4. It can equal 6 if you wanted to.
Well, because
if you all decide, you know. If you all decide, 2 plus 2 equals 6, yeah, that's right. 2 plus 2 equals 4, what, are you retarded?
Well, because I think his idea is that in this sort of nature world, or before we had any constructs, we wouldn't come up with these ideas of math, like things just were. But even then, that's my concept of an absolute truth.
So
like, I think that there are absolute truths in this world, but he does not. He thinks that everything is just a construct.
If what he said was true, you would look back at history, and it would just be a shit show.
Well, he's a fucking idiot. That's why I dropped the class. And I knew he was trying to brainwash us with his, like, Marxist lies.
Yeah, it would just be a complete shit show if everything was, let's say, like, what he's saying and what the liberals are saying are kind of essentially sort of the same, because they're both saying that, everyone's an independent individual and they can do whatever they want. And
no, that's modern.
But even
between modernism and postmodernism.
But even then, they're essentially saying that that history, if what they're saying is true history, with a bunch of individuals that are all different, history would be all over the place. all the time.
Yeah.
It never would have been like it's all basically the same. Women have always had a gender role. Men have always had a gender role. It's always been a certain way throughout history. There's been a little differences. Like you look at Rome, and there was some weird shit going on, but it's always been behind closed doors, right where it is. It's never been. There are no main societies that run off of certain things. It's always the same sort of thing going out through all of human history. The people and the names and the language and just the little things change, but the core, the humans at their core never change.
Yeah. Well, he's saying, or like in the modern perspective, they're saying that people are rational and reasonable human beings. Was that a word? Did I say rationable? What the fuck? Rational and reasonable human beings, and that they have the ability to think with logic and reason and to understand things in a different view and make sense of it. As where, like, the postmodernists are like, no, there is no I who thinks. There is no person. There is no ration or reason. There is just you, and there's me, and there's all of us are just constructs. We're just affected by the norms that we find, that we believe to be true. He said, what he said,
there's nothing is real.
What he said was that take everything I'm saying with quotes. The very first day of class, before I said anything, quote. On the very last day of class, after the last thing I say, end quote. Like, everything is fake.
Basically, he doesn't want to be held accountable for anything he says,
Basically, yeah.
That's a pussy way of doing it.
And that's why I dropped the class.
Yeah, I never would have dropped that class.
I just couldn't handle it.
I would take every single class like a debate. I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna write down that.
He said he wanted it. He was like, I want different opinions. I want conservatives, liberals. I want whatever. And then he tried to go and say that he hates Democrats and Republicans all the same, and that he hates politicians and politics. And I'm like, that's such bullshit, because he attacked Trump on like the first day of school anyway. So like, so much for not liking politics.
Well, because they're trying to be edgy.
Yeah, I know. I hate teachers being edgy. They're like, oh, well, I'll get the students to like me by talking shit about Trump. See how good that is. Doesn't do shit.
Well, because like with the Democrats, you can be like, oh, I love Pelosi and Maxine Waters. You probably get lit up by the Bernie Sanders supporters, because there's an obvious like cut between the left now. You have like the leftists, and then you have like the establishment Democrats. And the establishment Democrats, like, no one wants to hear, like, they're in control, like the politicians, but no one actually, like, their actual supporters, they don't have a say in that party anymore, really.
Yeah, it's just like, why is it so much easier to be negative than it is to be positive? Like, instead of saying, like, because of course there's going to be things that they like about Trump. Like, it's not like they 100% hate him and everything he did or he's doing. Maybe they do, but the only thing that teachers use to talk to students in a way that they can be on the same level with them is like, oh, yeah, Trump sucks because he spends his time at Mar-a-Lago. Like, come on.
Well, it's people in general like to cause drama and talk shit. How many people behind closed doors are you sitting there saying, oh, this person's such a great person, and you just compliment them the entire time? No, usually you focus on the negative parts and you joke about them. And you're like, oh, well, I like this person, he's a nice guy, but, and then you spend 20 minutes on the but part, and that's about it.
I was doing this way to avoid the traffic.
I'd rather head home.
To your home?
Yeah. Sue says the Trump rally is amazing. Is that true?
Being at a Trump rally is so awesome. Like, honestly, I hate concerts. I hate how loud they are. I hate that just crammed together.
Getting assaulted left and right.
Yeah, I hate that.
Sexually assaulted too.
But at a Trump rally, it's like better than a concert. It's better than the best concert ever. Like, it's just so much fun.
Yeah, they're fun stuff. You know, standing up for what you believe in. It's fun to do. It's fun to turn yourself into a patriot and get away from, you know, the normie and especially the cuck life. Being proud of yourself, being happy. That's what we talk about. Don't be like the left. Don't be angry. Don't be ugly. Don't be a weirdo, like, degenerate. Stop that.
The left, they just internalize their hate for themselves. Like, especially like the women, like feminists, they internalize hatred into themselves. They're like, oh, I'm fighting back against this hatred. But the second they realize that they're not oppressed in this country is like the second that they realize, oh, I can stop being a feminist because there's no point anymore.
There's no end goal.
The fight is done. Like, what do they want now? Oh, intersectional feminism. Just shut up. Take what you have now. Like, no one cares. Just move forward. Like, people that complaining about racism all the time, like, really? Is it really that bad? We're not like, it's not slavery anymore. There's nothing that is keeping, I can't even see the lines on the road. It's like there's nothing that is holding anyone back, like in terms of race. Like,
well, look, we've given women, and we've given the minorities. We've appeased them. They've given them equal rights. We've given them everything, and they're still complaining. So at that point, if you're already equal and you're complaining, then at that point you want supremacy. At that point, and that's what's happening. They say that's what diversity is now. It's basically black people. It's
no,
not.
Diversity is anti-white. Diversity is when they say, oh, we had the most diverse Grammys ever this year, and there was no one white who was nominated.
And then now they're openly. They didn't used to say this. They would try to say, oh, it's anyone but white, but maybe they would say, oh, there could be a percentage of whites in there. But now they're openly saying, look, there's still, the Oscars are still too white. Like, they're open now with this, which is great because now they're showing their true face.
Yeah, but then I see stuff. I got an email from school saying there was a internship program, a diversity internship program for something that I actually really wanted to do, and I just didn't even apply because I'm like, I have a percentage of Asian, but I'm still not going to get in because the diversity also goes against Asians, because all I actually care about is putting in the oppressed minorities, and Asian people and whites aren't oppressed enough to be able to get in. So I saw the picture. They showed a picture of all of these students, and like there was probably one white Jew. It's just like, it just means anti-white.
Yeah.
If you're more than a certain percentage of white, we just don't want you because you're not adding to diversity.
Yeah, I mean, and to get a better perspective on it because of how muddy America is, just think of it this way. Imagine if...
Did you say how muddy?
Well, just, it's, you know, gets like when you talk about like America, and you try to talk about like the past and the future, it's like there's always been people there, right? But to put it in a better context, like if you talk about, let's say, Japan, and Japan has always been a Japanese country run by the Japanese. So if, let's say, something happened and millions of black people went to Japan, and after a few years they're like, well, why is everything, like, why are there only Japanese people in positions of power, and why is there Japanese people like in all these things? And it's like, because that's a Japanese Asian country. I mean, and there's just so much ignorance, and I used to be one of the people that you know, was guilty of this, where you don't know what the immigration was in the past. You literally don't know that the founding fathers had a immigration policy of white men of good character, and then they changed it to good morals, but they wanted just, you know, good white people, like not criminals or anything like that, to come to this country. And going off that logic, then you can consider that America was a white country for a long time, until just recently. I had no idea until like some of the alt-right people started messaging me these things. I grew up thinking that this is a melting pot. I looked around me and it was really no white people around, so I thought, oh, I must be a melting pot then.
The land of immigrants, right?
Yeah. but I grew up in a very diverse place, so I mean, it kind of made sense to me. Plus, I was never a political person. I had no reason to ever like look into it. But once you look into it, and you're like, well, there's, if there is all these white people in all these positions, it's because they've been here forever, and they're, that's why.
They literally get voted in.
Yeah, which is kind of the crazy part when you look into, when you look into the white people in positions of power, they're not really Europeans, is what I would say.
I had this poli-sci teacher a few years ago who was this Mexican guy. I thought he was a Republican, but he said he never said what he was ever. But he always used to say, we have too many white males. Yeah, he's like, we have too many white males who are rich, wealthy, or I mean, that's the same thing. Rich, well-educated, middle-aged white men in power. We need more diversity. We need more people. We need more women. And then he brought up all the statistics about the House and the Senate, and about how there's only like a very small percentage that's women, and then a small percentage that's like minorities. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, they just don't want to run. Like, they're not getting elected. The people, the constituents of that district are electing certain people that they want to represent them. And if the people are still wanting to elect the rich, well-educated, white males, then that's what they're going to do. And there's nothing to do about it. But, I mean, hopefully people continue to elect those people.
Well, when he says there's too many of these people, he's basically saying, look, there's this country, it was a white country, and it was popular, and like the whole world liked it, so everyone's like, we want to be part of that. Like, America's basically trending, we want to be part of that. And then we're like, no, our immigration doesn't allow you to get in. And then they're like, well, you're this, you're that, you're this, you have to let us in, we want to be part of this great place, we don't want to live in our house, it's a shithole here, it's great over there, I want to live there, you're a terrible person if you don't let us in. And at some point they changed the immigration, let everyone in from everywhere that wasn't just in Europe, let in everybody. And then once they're there, then they don't just say, oh yeah, thanks, now we're here, that's it. They go, okay, now we're here, and now we want what you have now. We want what you have, and we want, like, all you guys are in positions of power. We want all of you to go away. We want to basically take over the country. We want all of the white people in this country to give up all their wealth, give all their money to black people, reparations. We want all of you guys to stop being in positions of power and put our people in positions of power. Basically, it's like a peaceful invasion. Basically,
it's also never enough. Like,
yeah, like I said, you can't appease
about having a woman president. It's like, okay, so what happens when you get a woman who's president, but she's a white woman? Next thing you know, it's not good enough. Now you need a black woman president.
Well, they're saying that
now you need a Muslim woman president, and now you need like
they're trying to say
tranny president.
They're trying to say that like America is its most racist place and all that, but then how the hell did Barack Obama not get shot in the head? John F. Kennedy got shot in the head, but not Barack Obama. How did he not get assassinated then? But John F. Kennedy did. Like, how many white people? Obama never would have won it unless he got the white vote, and he did. So that's how he won. He got the virtue signal is to.
You're racist if you don't vote for this black guy.
And you're racist if you don't like Black Panther. You see. But we have to realize that the people that think this way, even in the black communities, I think there is a lot of like tribalism with a lot of these groups. They don't like, you see how the Greeks used to talk about what is virtue, what is right, what is wrong, these things. They held that as the biggest standards to things. Whereas other groups, they don't think that way. They think about what benefits me and what doesn't benefit me, what's good for me and my family and that kind of thing, and what isn't. They just care about their best interest. That's it. There's no right or wrong or virtue. See, white people thinking what's right or wrong, virtue, think about your principles, and then the other groups are like, screw all that crap. All I care about is what benefits me. That's it. And I'll use whatever, means to get that. And I think that's why That's why a lot of these white people, they just like, they don't understand how things work because they're in a different dimension. They're thinking about right and wrong and virtue, and everyone else is just thinking about what best, like what helps me the most. That's it.
How many gifts can you get?
Yeah, sort of. I would say that that's kind of the basic form of most humans is usually just, you know, that's a very natural way of doing things. Is just, you know, I would argue that having like monarchy is probably more natural than what we have now. But I mean, sometimes some artificial things can work. I think any form of government can work as long as they have good leaders. But everything gets corrupted, just like our bodies. Everything breaks down, you know. Democracies, a democracy.
What is this dumb retard doing?
Man, you sprinkle a little bit of water and everyone forgets how to drive.
Fucking, he's trying
That's
to
the
turn
truest
into
thing
a
I've ever
straight up
seen.
wall. Fucking has turn signal in the most retarded place.
Yeah, I think any form of government can work, but every form of government can fail too. And that realism is why, you know, the checks and balances had to be put in place. I saw someone had a question. I think it was, what was it? Oh, it's Brosa. Which has more worth, institutional activism and, it's like impossible to read, and subverting the current Republican Party to fit our agenda, or doing our own thing like TRE or any other alt platform? I would say the best. Well, why start from scratch? If you can have the aid of something that's already established, it's gonna be way simpler than creating like the, you know, American Renaissance Party and starting all over. Like, how was it working for the Green Party or the Libertarian Party? How many elections have they won? You know, like why stay there? Like, you might as well just run. I think just take over the Republican Party and make the change you want to see. Basically, I know on the left that's what they say. So I say take over the Republican Party. It needs to be taken over.
They've warped the Democratic Party really bad. So
yeah, but I think the Republican Party is corrupted, and we need to get rid of the neocons and these just dopey people.
The conservatives.
These dopey people. They don't win here. Like, why is California so blue? It's because the red people aren't very good at shooting out propaganda like the left is. They're not good at their job. They need to go. That's why you have all these new people in the Trump movement. Like, who the hell was like Cernovich or Jack Posobiec or Milo? Who the hell were any of these people before Trump came around? No one knew any existed. The only reason they existed was because the Republican Party couldn't do their damn job, and that gave other people opportunities to you know, become somebody. So I'd say find out what you want to do, what you're comfortable with doing, get to know thyself, and then from there choose what you want to do, you know. The merchants came out of the woods. Yeah, a lot of people saw opportunities to get famous, to get money. All you had to do was put on a MAGA hat, and hopefully if you were gay, hopefully if you were a diverse person and you were a Trump supporter and you got in front of a camera, you immediately became famous, basically. Or if you were young, like with us, if you're young, if you're diverse, you like the white straight males, like they don't get a lot of fame out of, like, are any of these people white straight males? Maybe Posobiec, right? But he's like a military guy, so I think that's what he gets that kind of, that's...
Vincent's a white straight male.
Yeah, but the white straight males have to actually work hard. They actually, like, yeah. Vincent makes a video every single day, doing all the articles, making all the videos. He has to, like, read a bunch of books, know what he's talking about. You know, the most famous ones are probably like these the women, the whammons, the titty streamers.
Is Gavin McKinnon, is he straight?
Some people think he's bi. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I know he kissed Milo, but he was like, he at least, this was in the past. This was during the Orlando shooting. Milo went down there and gave a speech. And then,
during the Orlando shooting? What?
Yeah, after the Orlando shooting happened, Milo went there.
Really? I feel like that's.
You like my memes, don't you, Squidward? Welcome. Oh man, that's sad. Gavin is degenerate, yeah.
He is degenerate, but.
I just don't like when people brag about how degenerate they are. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, that's not a good thing. That you like to lick butts, you know? Like, you know, like your own liberal friends would make fun of you. Like behind closed doors, oh, you lick someone's butt, or like that guy's nasty. Like everyone knows that, and you're trying to brag about it. Makes no sense. All right, guys, it's been how long is it? It's like 5:30.
It's been an hour
and a half,
30 minutes.
All right, well, I don't feel like taking it in streaming, so because it is raining, so. I have to say to all the people that watch, thank you for tuning in. I don't know if I should do this like later. I think we usually get more people at 2. But I'm experimenting a little bit forward. I think Michelle Elephant and Barbie Chan were dropping the Discord links. If you want to join the Discord and jump in on the drama that happens. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Tomorrow there's not going to be any more Wakanda streams. It's going to go back to probably like we're going to do like a little show. And next week there's a chance if there some IRL stuff, you might see me next Tuesday if that actually happens. Yeah, if you guys want to join the Discord, thank you to all that donated. That's a lot of money considering we only had like an average of 10 people. Like, you guys are way too kind. Yeah, thanks for watching. And any last words?
We'll talk to you guys on Discord.
Stay white, guys.